Sorry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
like,
to.
oh.
Huh? What happened?
No. The thing had popped up and started talking. I was like, oh, the recording thing. So start over. I'm sorry.
It
Cut
threw
this
you
out.
off? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, welcome to Full Disclosure, everyone. My name is Weldon Bishop, your host. This is the YouTube channel where we review the latest topics with in-person interviews and full panel discussions. And with us today, we have my friend Megan.
Yes.
And as always, the illustrious Fallon.
Hey.
And so now we'll just get started with the latest topics. First up on the docket, I believe we were talking about DJ Envy and his possible job security problems with the feds apparently raiding the radio station where he works.
That's wild.
His connections with a certain business partner who is being sued by several people for financial reasons.
For
Megan,
fraud.
you want to weigh in? Yeah, for fraud, yeah.
There's I think he and his wife have 20 lawsuits out against him. He and his wife have 20 lawsuits. I read that. I was like, yeah, dang. But
yeah.
20 of fraud.
That's what he was saying on the TV or on social media.
He had people investing money, obviously, in properties, which I think he was putting in some of the properties, but then he was taking some of it for personal use, and then he was taking some of the investors' money to pay back other investors. And then some people were not getting a return on them. They were not seeing
that Ponzi scheme every time.
Yep.
That pyramid, child. Somebody gonna be at the bottom.
And I feel like where Envy comes in, because Envy was doing his whole real estate thing on his own, but then decided to get involved with him and partner up. And I know he gave him $500,000. DJ Envy gave him $500,000 to invest. And part of his issue is promoting him without knowing him. And I think this is where he falls now. I do know that he is a co-defendant on a couple of the lawsuits, DJ Envy with Pina. But other than that, they haven't charged him or anything like that. So I don't think they have much on him necessarily.
No, I don't think so either. Because Pena spoke out. His video popped up on the Shade Room, and he was just basically saying, because I didn't know what all was going on. It was all this, the big headline, of course, was DJ Envy because he's the big star. So, right. And then all of his, whatever beefs he had with rappers or whatever, they were all couldn't wait. Shout out to Rick Ross.
Posted everything.
Rick Ross and them. But it's basically what he said, the opinion guy, he said a video and was like, it's so messed up how you help people and you didn't help people change their lives and did all these things. And he went and he was saying all this stuff. And then he said that DJ Envy, they're only suing him because he's a big celebrity, because he's a big name. And that really hurts my heart. It's so messed up because DJ Envy never even met these people. He was never in the room when these things were signed or what have you. So he was basically clearing DJ Envy, which is shout out to him, because I know I'm sure, because DJ Envy, he be getting hot, hot-headed. So I know he was probably like, you got me out here, all this kind of stuff, looking crazy.
Yeah, because a lot of people, if they're going down, you're going down with them, even if you.
Yeah, so I was surprised.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are we hearing from him and not DJ Envy? Because I was really surprised, but I know, I'm sure his lawyers.
He did say
yeah,
something.
He was on
radio.
Yeah.
But he
he was on a radio station. And he was and Charlamagne the God was
he working?
Yeah, Charlamagne was like, listen to your lawyers and don't say anything, because he was like, I'm not supposed to be talking, and Charlamagne was like, don't talk. But basically he was like,
Charlamagne should have been like, boop. Oh, wow.
he
I
was
think we lost
basically
him.
no, he was just in a regular show. He was in the show.
Oh, he was in.
Yeah, the Breakfast Club.
I was like, was he didn't call
a regular
in?
show. Like, he didn't lose his job or
Breakfast
nothing yet, so he's just doing his job. And so
he shouldn't. If anything, they'll keep him on there because that's bringing even more fans and attention
now, if he
to the
gets
show.
charged, then maybe that'll change.
They're gonna have to be like.
But the thing is, he was basically like, yes, that was a business partner. However, if he was taking money, I have never been involved in that. If he has kept money, I did not know anything about it. Like, he was just letting know, like, those actions, I was not involved, nor did I know. But Charlamagne at one point was like, because he was like, yeah, my lawyers don't want me to say nothing. And Charlamagne was like, well, listen to your lawyers.
Right.
Yeah, because that's the thing. That's for DJ Envy. His mouth is always getting him in trouble. Like,
well, he was saying, he was like, I feel like I got to clear this up because people are, it's coming down.
I understand that, but it's like, I mean, he should have, it's a dangerous, web of stuff. You got to be careful, because at the end of the day, what you're saying, you're now, I mean, with the new social media posts, social media interviews, everything that you're saying will be used against you in a court of law. So you don't want to slip up and say something, and they'll be able to
even
take
if you
that
feel
soundbite.
Like right, they can change it and be like,
yeah,
oh,
you can be
but you were there.
Exactly. And you'd be like, no, I stumbled on my words. What happened? What? No, see, exactly. And they'd be like, lock them up. So I do think DJ Envy is innocent, because he already had a lot to lose. He has kids. He was trying to, quote unquote, do the right thing, but it's it's like you said, like, your business partner is somebody that you didn't know as well. And a lot of people talk a good game. There's a lot of scammers out here. I mean, we're in Atlanta, so there's a lot of scammers. There's scammers everywhere. And I feel like with real estate, there's a lot of people that get, their stuff taken by these people. And it just sucks, because if you're the celebrity, you can get sued for, like, what people don't understand, like, people can sue you for anything. Just because you're getting sued doesn't mean you're guilty. And with apparently
society immediately make people guilty off of accusations.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can lose opportunities, you can lose all kinds of stuff, because like they always say, like, the lie will go around the world twice before the truth can even, get out, to your local city or whatever. So I think that, he'll come out, but it's also, like, so much damage coming.
And also, I'm sure what the radio station is looking at, or what the company is looking at, is that if these people feel like that they can, because DJ Envy is a mouthpiece for said corporation.
Oh yeah, like, they might have a class action. They could, there's a lawyer that's looking like, now, we can get the radio station as well, my brother. Right. Like, they're the right scammers will scam. Amen. So if they feel like DJ Envy is opening them up to legal issues, they could fire him because of that. Now, DJ Envy's always had money, in a sense. Like, he was DJ Envy before he got there, and he probably has enough money to do whatever, I would imagine. But this was like a lucrative job, because the whole job posting went viral of trying to find another person to add to the Breakfast Club. And even with that, they're making, like, I want to say, like, the range was like $100K or maybe $200K to $300K. It was like something like that. So just to get the extra person. And I feel like DJ Envy and Charlamagne are probably making even more than that, because the show is so big.
If you calculate in, they have a national radio show that's on TV now.
Yep.
And they have the remote radio. Stuff. Yeah, they gotta be making well over that.
Yeah. And then plus, like, all their other businesses and stuff that they've been able to do outside of it, because of they've grown a whole brand. Mm-hmm. But it'll be interesting to see, like, how things play out. Like, okay, of course you don't wish the man to go to jail. Like, I know, well, some people probably do, because they couldn't wait for this. There's an old interview of DJ Envy going around right now. You know what? Now hear me when I say it. I feel like, knowing how Tyreese is, from what we see in the media, I feel like Tyreese is either going to do two things. I don't know. I haven't heard from him yet or seen anything yet. He I don't know if he spoke yet, but I feel like Tyreese. Now hear me when I say it. Tyreese is either going to be like, "That's what you get for messing with a child of God," or this is what I think he's going to do. I think Tyreese is going to be there for him. I think he's going to create videos in support of Envy so that people can be like, see, Tyreese over here still supporting you. You got locked up. Tyreese took the time. I can see it because that's just, that's the vibe Tyreese gives. Like, he's very much, he he gets attention. Amen. That's all I want to say. I know some people have called him a narcissist and all that kind of stuff, and those be medical terms. I don't know what's been those are very medical. People throw that word around, but he does. He likes to be a center of attention. I mean, usually most people who are celebrities do.
So he and DJ Envy have beef.
Yeah,
girl, where are you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you ain't. Poor thing, you've been working so hard. You ain't heard nothing.
You don't know what's going on. You like?
Because I know he got a lot of enemies. I know DJ Envy just. I'm like, what does he be saying to where people just can't stand him?
Well, you know what?
Usually be Charlamagne who be the ones that be saying stuff.
But people, well, DJ Envy will pop off at the mouth, and because he won't tell you what he think. But okay, this is a gist. I'll give you the rundown. Basically, the main thing that people are upset, I'll say this is what sort of people are talking about payback for DJ Envy with this whole situation. Not so long ago, maybe, I don't even know if it's even been a month ago, DJ Envy called out one of the rappers who's on Love and Hip Hop because his child has I think she might have cancer or something, some type of medical illness, and they were trying to do a GoFundMe page for her. And they were like, you doing the GoFundMe, but you riding around with chains and you got all these cars. And he's like, so DJ Envy was very vocal about how you going to talk about this, but you got chains and you got cars. And so because DJ Envy said that, and people were like, yeah, I mean, he is right. But I'm like, at the end of the day, if the child needs, care, the child needs care, but you have your right to your opinion. And he could have been on the fact that DJ, I mean, people don't be thinking about how they're saying stuff. They just be like, no, that's foul. And him being a father, he probably really took it personal because it's like, how you asking for money, but you out here buying cars and you got,
I'm gonna sell everything. I'm selling everything.
Exactly. So why are you, you gonna do whatever you need to do to make sure your child is good. So he's probably, with his kids and how he is, but people were like, that was one thing. People were like, oh, I bet you he wish he didn't say that about so-and-so because it got his, I think they canceled his GoFundMe. They GoFundMe pulled the campaign or whatever. So, so you got that. He has some type of issue. Him and Rick Ross got beef. So,
well, I know that I didn't know the Tyreese specific.
So the Tyreese thing, what happened? Apparently, what happened is that at some point, Envy and his wife were on the brinks of separation and divorce because Envy had stepped out, and Tyreese kind of intervened and kind of helped put them back together, whatever like that, and talked to her and talked to him and helped bring them together. Apparently,
he took it upon himself.
While it was happening, he was like, if you really ain't happy with Envy, maybe we could, I'm just saying,
Wait, I didn't hear
that. So Envy really the one that has to be
with as long as you're sleeping by yourself, I'm just.
So it's really Envy was
allegedly. I don't know. I feel like you might. That's not what I think. You might have got it twisted because DJ.
No, because Envy said that's why he wanted to box him in his mouth because he got.
No, he said that after the fact.
And then his wife came on the show and said straight up that Tyreese got.
No. I get that, but it wasn't at the same time when they were separated. It was they apparently DJ Envy, he did help him and his wife get together, right? Tyreese took it among himself, flew out to where they were and got them a dinner and sang and all this kind of stuff, all this extra stuff, right? Yeah, it's a lot. And he was So, because I had watched the interview, I thought it was like an old interview. Because I'm like, what are they beefing about? So, okay, that happened, right?
Right.
The issue blew up again when I guess they had fell out from talking. So remember when Tyreese was like, when he was like crying, emotional through that
Over his
custody
wife?
battle that he was going, the
Right.
divorce thing, and he was like, you know, what more do you want from me? All that stuff,
Right.
right? Some I guess because there was like an elephant in the room where there was like basically, you know, like what's going on between you two, and DJ Envy was like, oh, I'm gonna say it. Basically, I guess during that time, there was a time that he called or said stuff or text his wife like inappropriate thing. I guess like what you said, like, oh, if you're alone or whatever, what have you, like trying to holler at his wife, right? So after that, DJ was like, nah, I ain't fucking with you. Da, 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 da. I'm not, you know, with that. So Tyreese was saying, I was on these I was on medication. They had me on different stuff.
Right.
So so basically Tyreese like
You
then
just
turned
make
it
it right.
around.
Yeah. It wasn't me. It was the
No, so
meds.
yeah. So it was like he was like he was so basically because at first DJ Envy didn't want to put it out like what he didn't even put it out what he said exactly in that specific interview when they
Yeah.
basically like confronted each other, because he was like no, he was like after, because he said I was trying to reach out to help you. I think even Charlamagne was saying like, yeah, we were trying to reach out to help you, but like you wouldn't talk to nobody. And then DJ Envy was like, yeah, but once you talked to my wife the way you talked to her and you disrespected her, you know what you did. I was done. I was done with you. Now,
Tyreese is
rightfully
wrong.
so.
Tyreese is wrong.
Yes.
Rightfully so. So, but again, so then Tyreese flips around and he was like, because again, like, you know, unfortunately, Tyreese is a lot of times like he's like, people are doing all this stuff to me. So basically, so DJ Envy is trying to explain like why he fell out with him. Tyreese flips around and was like, I was on medication. I was doing this. Y'all saw me acting crazy, acting sporadic. Y'all saw me. I was crying online every day. And they were supposed to be adjusting my medication, all this stuff. If you was my friend, you would have checked in on me. You would have did this. Like, you know, I did all that.
You're
And this
getting situation. You're trying to talk to my wife. I don't care if you was on shrooms,
Exactly.
if you was
listen.
high on life. I
So
don't care.
Exactly.
but public opinion, and already people be feeling some type of way about DJ Envy anyway. So when Tyrese basically was like, so he turns the whole thing around, and then now he's like, well, did I not help you and your wife get together? Because I wanted to see y'all relationship. So he goes down the whole list and explains like how he got DJ Envy together, how he was like he didn't ask to be putting them back together. He came to DJ Envy, he talked to his wife, he got them together, he created this thing. I think he might have sang for them or all this kind of stuff, like flew all the way to LA
That's so
from New
weird.
York.
Don't come thinking
So
to me.
again, everybody's missing that. So you got all the listeners, and so DJ Envy's like, I mean, he's like, yeah, you did do this thing. He's like, you were my brother. Like I felt like I really do
You did
appreciate
do
you
that,
for
but you
that.
also fucked up.
That's the thing. So like but again, all people are hearing about is like, because it sounds like a lot. Like all they're hearing is Tyreese flew out to LA, helped his marriage come back together. I think it's maybe serenaded them. I don't know. It was like a lot that he did. So that's my whole thing. And like, I feel like from what we've been seeing from Tyreese, he always likes to be like, no, no, you hurt me. So he was like,
I feel like
but I'm
Tyreese
your brother. You
you're
can't
wrong.
check on me.
You're wrong.
You can't check on me. You obviously, you know, I'm not in my right mind. I would never say these type
And
of
apparently
things.
both Envy and Charlamagne were like, we both tried to check on you.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so like, that's what he was saying. Like DJ Envy said, I did, but then you sent that crazy message.
Right.
I
To
think
my
he sent
wife.
a couple crazy messages to like other celebrities too. So other people were like, yeah, we had to fall back or whatever. But again, the whole interview basically Tyreese got people on his side because they're like, oh, he got you together with your wife. Listen, but see, you're married. You know, people be watching this.
I'm black and I don't understand.
Right.
But listen.
try to get in check
Also,
with my wife, but then you try to talk to her? No, what?
Yeah.
no. So, but these are separate. You know, you got me back
Right,
with
doesn't
her
matter
years
what
ago.
happened. It's still just because. So
Exactly.
just because you got me and you saved my relationship, I'm supposed to just be like, oh, you know what? Because you saved my relationship, we're gonna pretend
You
like
know
that
what?
ain't. No,
And that's basically what he was saying. And so Tyreese was
absolutely
like,
not.
I'm saying you're supposed to give me the benefit of the doubt. Check on me. When did you check on me? You stopped checking on me. He was like, yeah,
Beyonce,
I stopped because you sent that crazy.
we're not checking up on it, Beyonce. Okay.
Listen. But, you know, people were, when you look at the internet and comments and stuff like that, oh, DJ Envy, he messed up. But people already have a bias to DJ Envy. Like, they're not seeing it because, like, that's why I'm saying Tyreese is going to play this
court case.
two ways. They're going to be like, see what happens when you mess with a child of God. Or I can see him being Tyreese, trying to making himself like, you know what? Although he didn't stand by me, I'ma stand by him.
No,
And
he's not doing that.
that's what's gonna be. But hear me when I say it, I feel like Tyree's gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna, you know, I know, brother, we were fighting and all this type of stuff, but I don't want to see a black man go to jail.
He's not doing that. No, he's not doing it.
Exactly. So that's a Tyreese beef.
And so that's a great transition to the next question. Tyreese's wife regrets divorce after listening to Friends.
That's a real quick situation. She just, girl,
don't nobody influence me that much.
Don't nobody influence me that much. I love my friends and everything, and I love their opinion, but don't nobody influence me that much. Divorce is not a small thing.
Exactly. And you're getting whatever alimony, because like,
what's it like? It's like $20,000 a month or something like that, or
I don't know per se, but I just remember he was like always in the media for what he was fighting, like he had to pay the child care, his you know, the mother of his children. Then because he was like, it seemed like he was getting married like every other year, because I think he's married now to somebody. So
is he?
And it's like, yeah, he's like with somebody else.
Their divorce is all the way final. I don't think their divorce is all the way finalized yet.
No,
but I feel like he has another woman though, doesn't he? Isn't he with another woman though?
They're not married.
He probably is, but
no, I just feel like it was like a new woman. So it's like he had got with somebody. He was like,
and they all look exactly the same. Every single one, the exact same.
They can wear the same foundation.
He finds them
all.
What
shade of Fenty is that? No. You know, people be having types, but I feel like she's probably a lot of. I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't just divorce him because of your friend said so. There were issues and things that you were not appreciative or whatever, and it's like maybe now that you see he's still successful or that he's moved on, you might think that you want that or that lifestyle.
Keep coming out.
Listen, that's the thing. Is like your friends couldn't have you divorce somebody because if they didn't like him. Like there was real issues because divorce is serious. There was some real issues, some real situations.
She said, especially the person I guess she was speaking to or whatever, especially was not for marriage. So I'm like, then in that case, I'm going to take that person's advice with a grain of salt if they're not pro marriage in the first place.
Exactly. So I just feel like be happy that you got the spousal support right now, but at the end of the day, I'm
$20,000 a month.
20,000, girl. I wish 20,000 a month. Shoot, I would be begging for student loans to get paid off if I was making 20,000.
Tyreese knows that he is not the one to stay in long marriages. So when is he gonna start signing prenups?
I don't know.
Apparently she signed a prenup, but for whatever
that's probably
reason,
what it was. It would have been higher. It could have, because he's worth a lot because of them Fast and Furious.
Prenups become, and most prenups, when you sign a prenup, they can become void based on certain things like cheating or abuse.
Yeah.
So if there's proof of those things, then the can be void.
Because I was about to ask, it just seems like a lot of people are getting around prenups nowadays. What's the point?
Yeah, well, when you sign a prenup, most of the time, for whoever is the person in the situation who doesn't have the most money, usually will put in there a clause saying, you get nothing unless you cheat or unless you're abusive or unless on drugs.
Or sometimes it's like
that.
you the prenup is like on a certain type of years. Like if we only stay together for
like
this
Janet
amount of
Jackson.
years.
Yeah.
I said,
Janet
get
Jackson
that
divorce.
money.
Janet Jackson divorce literally 5 years and 1 day. It was like, talking about
She was like, enough. She was like, doesn't really matter what the she was like, I gotta get up out of here. Oh my
a lot
gosh.
of people don't realize people sign these prenups like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna cheat, or oh, you're not gonna catch me, and then like, no, people be like, they're like, oh, the day we're married, I'm hiring an investigator full time, just gonna investigate.
Listen, exactly. It's crazy, but I feel like also people don't like some dudes that be like, oh, prenup. It's like, but honestly, prenups can be a good thing. Like it doesn't have to be like. I think sometimes dudes be thinking like, oh, she's trying to take all my money, but sometimes these women need prenups too because they be end up having to pay these dudes or
What's
like
it?
even if they did cheat on
Whoopi
you
Goldberg
or
plays
whatever.
alimony. Somebody
Whoopi
else
Goldberg
plays
alimony.
Halle Berry,
Oh,
Britney Spears.
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige. That
Oh
was a big
yeah.
Yep.
So she gotta pay that man all the stuff he done put her through, child. That's crazy. And he was like, because he was her manager. So then he was like, you took my it's like he's like, I lost a job and my woman. It was like, child, you didn't want that woman.
Wendy
You was cheating
Williams
on her.
pays alimony too.
Yeah, but not as much as she would have because there was a clause. There was a clause that if she it was like some type of mental clause or something like that. If she was because he was supposed to like get like a percentage of her show, like get a good chunk.
Wow.
And yeah, like they were saying basically it was like something where if they got divorced or what have you, because I think they were trying to put her in a where you like how they had Britney Spears where she couldn't have her money or whatever for mental
conservatorship,
something like that, like maybe like something similar to that, right? And I guess he thought he was going to be able to get a hold of all the things, but she had a clause in there where if she lost her show or due to mental reasons or something that he couldn't take everything like he thought he was going to be able to. Like I think he thought he was going to be over her estate or something like that. It's something. But so now he doesn't have that as much money as he thought he was going to have. Plus he got this new woman baby with a baby. So yeah, there was like shout out to her lawyers because they got him good. So I don't know, but I mean it's more protection for both parties. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, you get nothing. Like so I know some women be like, I ain't trying to sign a prenup, but like you can make the prenup work for you where like you put the clauses in there.
Nobody signs a prenup like, which I think people are like, I'm not signing a prenup because if you're literally thinking that, then that means you think you're going to get divorced. When you sign this, you're hoping that this doesn't happen and that you're not getting divorced. So like signing a prenup should be a thing because in your mind, or as you should think, that this is going to be a long lasting marriage. So it doesn't matter.
That's a good way to think about it.
People also have to have insurance and they get death insurance, life insurance. But they don't want to be thinking about death, but child, things be happening.
But okay, but here's the question. So that's a very progressive way of thinking about a prenup, Megan. I've never heard, from that perspective. But let me ask this question. So when you and your husband started out together, y'all started out together at a certain level.
Right.
But let's say when you got married, he was already making a certain amount and he asked you to sign a prenup. Would you feel insulted or?
No, I mean, for the same reason as to where I wouldn't be thinking we'd get divorced. Now, would I throw in clauses of other things? Yeah, sure. Let me
just sprinkle a couple clauses of
and let me say this. My mind in my 30s, my 35-year-old brain right now is saying we got married at 27.
Okay.
Yeah. So in my mind, I would like to think, yes, the same thing. Obviously, those are two different stages of life, but I mean, in my mind, like you're like, okay, sure. But if I don't know, I think if you immediately getting upset, then that means you think something's going to happen.
Yeah. True.
Talk about it. I'm thinking like
when their spouse with the prenup that they're like, oh, so you think we're gonna get divorced? So I get that side of it too, because I can being offended, like, dang, you don't think we're gonna last to where we need to sign a prenup? But I also understand when people get to a certain status, it's important to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Shoot, Jay-Z and Beyonce got a prenup.
Yep.
On both sides.
Exactly.
They both had to sign.
That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't have to be this one-sided thing. And like you said, like so you can sprinkle in those different clauses. Like if anything, it helps because if you were to get divorced, like those divorces become ugly because people don't have prenups or don't have a way to, and so it's like it's unless you get a business together and it's something that I feel like you can be mature enough to like let's have this thing done and work it out for our best, the both of us,
Prenups do seem to being the divorce, like, and not necessarily divorce easier, but dividing of assets easier because it's typically already in there. Like like most of the time, some people just sign a prenup just saying you leave it what you came with, and that's really about it. But then they get based off of if you have kids, then some things will change, So I don't know.
Yeah, if when we started, I had like 80,000, and by the time we got divorced, we got 2 kids and then 24 million, then you're entitled. I mean, you were there. But if when we got married and I had 24 million and by the time we get divorced, I got 24.5. No.
She needs the 0.5.
A year or two later, you telling me, I got to adjust it to this lifestyle. No.
But depending on what state you're in, because like California, they don't play. They say
California, you don't even have to be married in California. It's called
common law. Yeah, common law. So
I have a friend. I know someone who's going through a divorce in Georgia, and she is like, she's cool or whatever with, like, she was the one who made the money in their marriage.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And she's at this point to where she's like, fine, whatever, I don't care, we can split, whatever. However, now in the state of Georgia, he is entitled to her 401k, which she has over 40-something thousand in it. And she is like livid. She was like, I was okay with giving him the house, giving him this and that, but he wants my 401k. And she's like, and I'm like, that really sucks. Yeah. So in Georgia, I don't know about other states, but in Georgia, your spouse is entitled to 401k.
Child, in Georgia, women, you really just gotta know your laws, because certain things like that, like I know, depending on like the kids and stuff, like Georgia has, everybody has different laws. That 401k, that's crazy, because you're not even together. Like that's not like y'all are military.
Right.
Like
going over your life, and then also too, like I think in Georgia too, like inheritance doesn't count. So in my mind, if inheritance doesn't count, so like say if like one of my parents passed away and left me money, and you guys split, apparently inheritance can't be touched or whatever. It can't include it.
Drain her 401k and put it somewhere.
But in my mind, if inheritance can't be touched, then why can't that should be the same kind of 401k?
Because the 401k again, like before you met that person, like how much did you earn? Like if anything, but still, that's still crazy because that's for your retirement. Like
but there have been plenty of divorce cases where the spouse gets somebody's retirement for the rest of their life. So
like pensions, for instance. So like
I mean,
my mom.
I guess I get that, but
my mom got my dad's pension. However, there was extenuating, like my dad cheated, had a whole baby, so that's a whole thing.
A whole baby, a whole baby,
That's fine. So okay, take the pension. But there are certain situations like where their divorce, there was no cheating. It was just.
But I just feel like there should be some type of, like, how long were they together? I can see like, okay, people that be in these long relationships.
I want to say
that's the thing that factors into my mind. If you've been there with me while I was building and you helped me, I couldn't have built it without you, even if it was just support. You know what I'm saying? I got no problem with that. But when it's like you in for like 2 years and like, so I won't have everything you guys, like, nope.
That's crazy.
I want to say they were married for like 7 or 8 years. I want to say it was around the same time as
Then
me and
maybe
Javon.
he should just. That's what. Then you should just get like just 7 to 8 years
See,
worth of the
they
pension.
never do that, right? They never calculate
That's what I'm
that.
saying. I'm like
Yeah.
7 or 8, not like the whole shebang, because she
Yeah.
had it before she had. See now, ladies, now that's why you gotta do. That's why,
But again,
like,
you don't go into this thinking that any of this will happen.
I mean, yeah, but I just feel like you don't have to think about it, but you want to make sure that y'all are. People don't be having these conversations enough anyway. There's a lot of important conversations that people don't have, and I feel like this is one that they should have
Yeah, but
and be
I
cool
don't
with.
know.
And when cooler heads prevail.
let's say
We
you have the conversation.
we've never had
Depending
that.
on how much money enters the situation afterwards, that conversation could be null and void. Like, remember we talked? Yeah, whatever. So how much you making now?
Yeah, conversations. Yeah, that's true. Conversations don't mean much of anything because
Yeah.
you could at
No,
one
no,
point be like,
You
no,
laid all up under the stars, all booed up with some wine and everything like that. Said, baby, we just gonna share everything. Just
right.
that means
no,
that.
but I'm just saying,
Then.
like, I feel like if you're getting married, you need to have something in writing, just so
Yeah,
you can have it.
like it never came up between Devar and I of like, all right, what's gonna happen if we get divorced?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
I mean, maybe we shouldn't word it that way, but like, I don't know, because they say like divorce is like the quickest way that people end up in poverty, because like you literally take half, like all your, like, you split everything. Like you might not be able to, if you split the house, you might not be able to get another house on your own or get another car, or like all these different assets that you build together.
Part of the problem is that we still tend to think of it should be romanticized. Marriage is romanticized and it's put in that perspective, but it's also a business arrangement. It's definitely a business arrangement, and nobody ever really thinks about it for the most part as a business arrangement, which it definitely is until it comes to you sitting in front of a judge,
and then you're like, I want everything. The house,
right.
the kids, the dog, the goldfish, and the pet rock.
Yeah, that's when people start getting petty. They're like, I had that lamp before I met
exactly. Or they want your stuff because they know you like it, so they're like,
right.
Oh yeah, let me go ahead and get that car. You can't even drive. I will learn.
I had a relative where he got divorced and his ex-wife took his dog and just set it out in the park and left just out of spite. Just
see, people be, those feelings be raw. Like, so I feel like I would like to have a prenup situation, like before like I want to like be able to have that open conversation with, like, like we're together. Like, it's not to say like, oh, I want everything, but just to have that understanding, like, no matter what, I feel like those are real conversations, and even though they don't come up, I feel like I would like to have something rather than it get messy, because I feel like, again, you can't have those conversations once y'all mad at each other. Once y'all pissed off.
No,
so it's like, let's get this in writing while we all good. Like, let's have this conversation.
Yeah,
like,
but I feel like easier said than done. Like, that's
yeah, for sure. It's easier said than done. Yeah, this is all like,
I didn't want it wasn't like we were just out to dinner and I was thinking about it, but I was like, no, I shouldn't bring it up. It's like literally nothing that ever crossed your mind, like, because that's not something that did cross my mind, No,
that makes sense. I mean, I feel like the only reason why my perspective is just things that you see in the news, or like how Mary J. Blige had to pay her husband, like, seeing all these different things.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
I also
like,
think it's different for the standard, like, person. Like, I don't think it's necessary prenup if you a thousandaire. Like, you just make you
no,
just,
but like, if you feel like, because some people
salary,
might feel like they're gonna make more money later. I feel like my millions are on the way, so I don't know where they're coming from, but I'm trying to be protected. I feel like either he got millions, we got millions, or just being well, taken care of. I want to make sure, like, he either gonna take care, like, we split. You take care of me, whatever to have you, whoever's making the most, whatever the case may be, because you can't do it after the fact. And Halle Berry is paying; she got to pay that man. Mary J. Blige got
Which
to pay
one's
that
Holly
man.
paying?
Yeah.
Which one's Holly paying?
She's
It's not
paying her
Erica
that
Nance.
model. She got the model. She
Oh
got
yeah, the
she
model
got the
guy
two
she's with.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what she's paying him, but like she's paying. So again, it's like seeing all those different things, and like you said, it is a business arrangement, so it doesn't have to be like a negative situation where like, oh, I don't want you to get nothing.
Depending on the age,
in my book, in my opinion,
I think depending on the age, like obviously people marry for love.
Yeah.
I feel like as you mature,
Usually,
you realize it's a business arrangement as you mature in your marriage. But then you people who marry later, who are like, I'm marrying not for love, I'm marrying for stability.
I'm marrying for love and all the stability and everything, all of the above.
I think it depends on the phase of life you're in, because like, yes, I feel like 20s and even early 30s, you're like, oh, love, and then after that, you're like, I need to survive.
Yeah.
And it's not like, and you're not wrong. Like, you wish you didn't have to think about this stuff, but like the way, like we just heard, old girls like, my friends convinced me to get a divorce, child. Like the way, and sometimes you do have, a lot of times your friends, your family members, those outward influences can cause problems in the relationship. So
especially if they're hating you in your situation in the first place.
That's why
exactly
women, it is very important, which I tell people all the time. If me and Javar were to get divorced, it would be a shock to the world. A shock. Don't nobody know what goes on in my marriage. The one thing that people know, if we argue over something, it would be like over what to watch. People don't know because that's not nobody's business. I'm never like, this is the issue. When you call your friends or your parents or whatever,
your family, your parents,
about every time something bad happened or every argument, your parents love you, that is slowly going to start to taint their view of your spouse.
Yep.
No matter,
and they're only hearing your side of it.
Right.
Exactly. And you're only coming to them with the bad stuff. You're not saying, never with oh my God.
Yep. I can look like I have a whole attitude coming to a family function because we just argued and somebody asked, I'm like, we're peachy. Thank you. Yep. Mind your business.
We're peaches and herb, okay?
Like, that's not, and I try to tell people that all the time, like, it's cool to vent or whatever to your girls or to your, parents or whatever about little things. Like, if he like, oh, he leaves the socks out, something like that. But don't telling people about other stuff. Like, that's no, because then then you have situations to where they're like, girl, you wrong for years.
I wouldn't have put again, and they don't see all the other things. Like, they're not seeing what you're doing, how you're contributing to the chaos or whatever's going on. But I think it's also like, I feel like we're not, first of all, they don't teach in school how to have a healthy relationship. So you're learning based upon whatever the people who are around you, whether your parents or your uncle, your aunt, your sister, you're learning all these things. And so even if you have your friends and family that are married, you have a good chunk of people who are married and they complain about marriage. So like you're better off, you need to talk to the therapist more than anybody, because everybody got their own biases, or they don't like, they're single and maybe they would like for you to be single again, like, be out here with me in these streets. And so it's a lot of things that you don't know,
plus
how they really are feeling.
Plus what happens is when you complain about your significant other to, whether it's your family, your friends, or whoever like that, well, they might not know, y'all gonna work it out. Y'all gonna be fine. They still gonna be holding this grudge in the back of their head because of what you told them. Every time they see him, it's just
right.
And then don't let them mess around and say what you done told them, because they done got pissed off and be like, oh,
you getting drunk this Christmas
you was
again?
cheating on her with baby girl.
Right.
And they'll be like,
right. Why
I
you?
told you that in confidence.
You asked me to pass salt. Why don't you ask your mistress to pass the salt? How about that?
Exactly. How about that? Cause it don't take much. Like honestly, once people, people get petty. People be
Yep.
real petty. So I can, things can go left. Don't let people start drinking
Yep.
or and even with the whole like, don't tell your family your bad stuff. Don't tell your girlfriends the good stuff. People be talking about, oh, my man, put it down, wooty woo, all the rounds, take me to Pound Town, skinny, all these things. But it's
Yo,
like,
yo,
you
baby,
have
why
some women that be like,
why should Nico keep looking at me like that? What's going on? Why should keep
exactly, that it's sad that you have some women that do think like they like this, they see what a man is doing for another woman, and sometimes it be their friends, because people, they say like people don't be cheating with like complete strangers. A lot of times it be people that they know, whether it's at work because you eat with these people all the time, or you be seeing them crazy shows where, or the best friend and the brother, or you know what I mean. So it's like,
you
unfortunately,
on a business trip, you call home and say, hey, yeah, no, everything's going good. By the way, Melissa just stopped by. She over here at the house.
Yeah, I feel like people deep down know their friends. They just don't want to know their friends. Like deep down, like I am comfortable with my friends alone with her. However, I have people in the back of my head that I probably know that aren't necessarily my friend that I wouldn't be comfortable with, necessarily.
Child.
Yeah.
They know they friends. It's just they don't want to accept that. They're like, oh, but I'm different because no, you're not different.
No, people I've had.
I got
this was just
friends
joke.
I wouldn't let walk my girlfriend to the mailbox. No, I know who would trust me. No, I know.
No, and it's sad you have to be that way, because you have some people, like, women's relationships are weird sometimes. Unfortunately, there is a thing where like some girls be seeing like, oh, I see what they do for you or do for somebody else, and they be like, well, he was always talking about you just never know, because you don't know what they stand on. You don't know, like, a lot of people are just, they're ruled by their lust or what have you, or like, oh, we were drunk. And I used to be like, before I like drank anything when I was younger, I'd be like, wow, alcohol really be, but no, you will never be that drunk. Like
you are who you are. Yeah.
You are who you are, and you know what you like. And sometimes when you're drunk, you like somebody that you ain't supposed to like. Like, people be really like, we got drunk. Why were y'all drunk together? Where was I? It's like, I mean, like, how did you get to get drunk together? Y'all had to be together. So where was this?
But to the point, she just trying to make it. She regrets the divorce, and now she just making up somebody to blame because
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's see. Next subject. Let's see. So how about this one? Let's go with this one. So Taye Diggs. I'm gonna jump down to that one.
I don't know all this stuff. I just saw you said his wife was talking about the interracial.
His wife was white, and she claimed, Taye Diggs was real big in black community, black movies and stuff like that, and he was a sex symbol stuff. And she says that their relationship was made more difficult because of the fact that she was white. And I guess like, I mean, we live in the age of social media. So
because a lot of people. So number one, Taye Diggs is known for classic black films,
right?
And so I think a lot of people immediately see people in these classic black films and think pro-black, and then they see them with a white person and immediately get up in arms. And so I think that because it automatically classified him because he married the one white woman, that he don't like black women or whatever. So it became, and so unfortunately she became collateral damage in it all.
Yeah, it's like, girl, I mean, hey,
I
you
don't
had
believe.
Tay Diggs. You should have just, you might be mad at, I mean, she's lucky that she wasn't, I mean, I'm not dismissing any of her, like, the pain and the mental anguish that she went through because of that. But I'm like, thankfully, they pretty much got divorced, by the time, you know, the social media really became like huge, because I can only imagine it would have been 10 times worse if it was like
Yeah.
a bunch of people able to comment for, they were married early in the 90s and stuff. So I can only imagine how it would have been if they were together during this social media time that we have now. Like,
Yeah, social media is brutal, man.
oof,
I mean, I was
it's
telling
a mess.
I was telling I think my sister the other day, I was like, can you imagine if Michael Jackson was around with like Twitter and stuff like that? He wouldn't
Man,
survive. It's just he couldn't have handled it at all.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because I see Terry Cruz's wife is actually black, but because she's like really light skinned, they
Yeah.
get all kinds of stuff about like
Oh,
he
I
married
didn't
a white woman and
wait.
huh?
I
No,
thought she
she a whole black woman. She just
Oh.
real fair skin.
Yeah,
She
she's
a
a fair skin.
whole
Yeah,
black
see?
woman. She just fair skin. She looked like my grandma. To be honest, my grandma, she a whole fair skinned
I don't even know
lady, and
a glimpse of her before. I've never
we
like
be coming in all different shades.
yeah, no. If I were to like sit and look at her, I would probably know immediately. But I've only seen like a glimpse of her. I don't even really know.
Yeah, if
Remember?
you're not paying attention, I think a lot of people did. Hence why they be getting, whatever threats, or, people be evil on the internet. They say a lot of things that they wouldn't even say to your face.
Yep.
Or they say things from faceless, they don't even have their real faces on these accounts. So they had a TV show, and that's when I discovered that. I was like, oh, she's a black woman. And she was like, she's not even mixed. I think her parents they're just fair skinned. They just,
Like, oh, they just black.
yeah, they just black.
They're
you
black.
know, DNA be tripping, DNA be DNA, amen.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all I gotta say about her situation. I don't.
So you don't so do you think that it's fair that because in this day
I
and
don't think it's
age
really
we
Well,
lost
fair.
how was she wording it? Was she just saying, like, what was she exactly saying? She was just saying being in an interrelationship was difficult.
yeah, because people would like make comments and stuff like that about why you married a white woman and blah 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 and
I
it's
mean,
just
duh. That's for even if any interracial
Yeah.
relationship gonna go through that. I mean, it's worse because he's
true.
famous, but
Yeah.
um, but also, yeah, like any
And
interracial, I
especially
mean, like, not that y'all are special, because like I obviously, because he's in his situation, he's a celebrity, but there's people who aren't famous who be going through, the
yeah.
stares, the stuff. I will say it's just because of social media it made it worse, but I mean, you just got to work that out through therapy. I'm sure that y'all divorce wasn't because of that. Like, he was with you a long, before all of that, because he loved you. He felt, y'all loved each other.
Unless
Y'all
she
got together.
can no longer just handle the like although she didn't have to deal with the social media aspect, maybe hearing stuff and reading blogs and seeing newspapers, some people just can't deal with it and handle it, and maybe she just couldn't
yeah,
hang. So
true,
I mean,
true.
but he fell off in a way, like, not to be disrespectful to his career, but like Tyrese's career. I mean, Tyreese, my bad. What's his name?
It
Taye
is.
Diggs' career had ebbed and flowed. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
by the time, like, he's really having a resurgence of his career right now. So like, when they got divorced, he wasn't like, they didn't get divorced like when he was like, Taye Diggs right after the best man and Stella got a groove. Like, they didn't get divorced then. They got divorced like later on, which
Right.
I'm not saying that it diminishes what she went through, but they got divorced for other reasons, because whatever other reason they got divorced, but I'm sure she's just thinking
that
about,
probably
like, it was hard. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, because they would have been got divorced if that was the case, because he was the quintessential black male lead and then supported by all these black women. I think that's what's difficult. Like, a lot of these stories, whether it's Love Jones or whatever have you, the black women and like, because Tyler Perry built his whole franchise after, the support from black women and black people, but black women more specifically. And so when you have your whole career built off after that, when they find out that that first of all, if they find out that you got somebody, it's already gonna be a problem. But then when they find out that, oh damn, this person that's been in all these black movies, they're with this white person, they be like, oh my God, I'm melting. Not everybody, but but people do take offense to that. But it's up to y'all to, or your husband or whoever is your spouse is, to really, step up and stand on that, because what's his name? He's also married to a white woman. He's an actor for Power.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Dude from
Hardwick.
Power. Yeah. How you talking
Yeah.
about?
But he's been very vocal
Yeah,
about like,
and he caught I saw he caught a lot of flack for that too. They caught a lot of flack. Yeah.
yeah, he caught a lot of flack, but he was like, I remember he had an interview and he really stood by his wife, and he was like, when I was broke as fuck, nobody wanted me. Like, he was like, this is not some just random woman. Like, this is like a woman who was in my life. Like, I love this woman. She was with me when I had nothing. Da, 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 da. And it's like a lot of times we don't get to see the backstory behind these relationships. Now, yes, there can be times where you have celebrities that, they have a preference and they make their preference known, and they're like, if they date outside their race, if they're black and they date outside their race, a lot of times they might be saying like hurtful things about black women, that is like, black women ain't even asked you for all this. When ain't nobody asked you this, but every time you want to live, yeah, I'm with my wife because these black women are da 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 da, and
Yeah,
it's like,
so
ain't nobody even asked you.
is it if you just married someone out of your race just because you just love that person because you love
Just
because you're showing hate to another race, and that's all.
yeah, that's another
Yeah.
thing. So it's like, even
Well,
if you're gonna
have issues
marry somebody outside the race, that's gonna be some problem. You will get some pushback, but
What you say, Megan? You were cutting out.
Oh, I was saying that that's part, but part of the issue is that black people seem to have issue accepting with people falling in love outside their race, and it not being, because people immediately be like, you must hate black women, and it's like, no, maybe he just fell in love with that person.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help when you have people who are vocal about, oh, I don't like to date, my preference is not black women because I feel like it's like, people didn't ask you that. People might ask you, oh, how do you meet your wife, or whatever. It's like, people don't.
Yo, I remember
People aren't saying it about that.
I remember Wesley Snipes was on. He was on V103 like back in the day.
Oh Lord.
And this was before Waiting to Exhale, when he made his little cameo or whatever. And he said, yeah, I love my sisters, but trifling. And all of a sudden they said, oh, the lines are lighting up. Oh, everybody's calling.
I think that's the thing. Like, with a lot of black women are like, we don't care if you date somebody out your race, but you don't have to shit on black women to show your loyalty. Like, say that I love her.
And right after that, he did the uncredited appearance on Waiting to Exhale movie. He was like, "Oh yeah, I just did it because I love my sister." Yeah,
that's not what and that's the thing. Is like, you can date outside your race without having to like downplay, degrade black women, and don't nobody care. Like, a lot, yeah, there's the internet, but like, it's like, people don't be media trained, or people be feeling how they feel. Like, they be really feeling like, I think black women, whoop de whoop, negative things. But it's like, if you say that, you gonna have to stand on that, and that's that the internet's gonna clap back. But like, you can date outside your race, you just don't have to downplay or downgrade or belittle the race that you are choosing not to date, whether you're black, Spanish, Asian, white. Like, I don't want to be with a white man because he and him be like, oh, I like the sisters because those white girls are trash. No, like, that's not like, be with somebody because you love them, not because you have to say like, those other people are trash. That's why I'm with this one. So, not love. You don't. Do you like her? Do you like?
Plus, I mean, it kind of symbolizes a sense of self-hate, if they can say something like that. Anyway, I mean, the person he came from was a black woman, so If
Yeah.
you
That's what
sign
I'm
up
saying. Yo,
to be
mama
with
black.
a black woman, then yeah, if that's your reasoning, I have no problem with interracial relationships. If you love who you love,
Yeah.
but if your reasoning is because you in some way hate yourself, which to me is what it's saying when you have a problem with all black women,
Yeah,
then
you know, they be whoop or they want designer children. That'd be a thing. Like
designer
that'd
children.
be a real thing. Like they be wanting their kids to have quote unquote nice hair or green eyes, and then, or you know, or like it's a thing. And sometimes you know, I feel like I try to think about like, okay, well, how can this person come to these different types of uh views? And a lot of times, whatever trauma, because a lot of stuff be coming from our childhood. Like, say if they're a person that maybe they were bullied or what have you, and none of that's what they like to say. When I was young, none of the black girls like me. They used to make fun of me.
That's what
But
Terrell
it's like
Owens.
they made for the yeah. But it's like they
Terrell
made
Owens
for the
was saying that
everybody.
none of the black girls liked him, and that's why he gears toward. I'm kind of calling. I'm not. I don't know if no black girls liked you back in the day, Terrell. None of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe the ones you like didn't
You
like
did
you, but
right.
there's always the one that you're overlooking or whatever. Because I know, because child, I belong to the TV liking somebody, and they be just like, they be like, oh. And so it's like, if you go to a predominantly black school, the predominantly people that's gonna turn you down will be black. You know,
Right.
it's like the concept of black on black crime, which is not like a real thing. It's like they don't be talking about white on white crime. It's like, yeah, if there's black people in the neighborhood and everybody's black in the neighborhood, crime is
right,
going to be it's black. You know what I mean?
right, yeah.
So I
Good
try to
point.
be empathize with like a lot of times, like say if you have if you have children who are black and they're in like predominantly white schools, a lot of times maybe they'll end up dating a white person because that's who's around them. So but again, by the time you get to that point, like say if they met somebody when they were high school sweethearts and they're somebody of the opposite race, but they end up becoming famous, you know the famous people don't be getting the backstory. The regular people don't be getting the backstory. They just be seeing like, oh, here's goes another one. But it's like, at the end of the day, you're a celebrity. Have your job. I won't say have your job, but it's maybe your responsibility or at least duty to your spouse who's not black or who's not of that community in which people might be like, what's going on? Like, you should be able to maybe give your piece so that it doesn't create a bad people want to hate them regardless, but you should be able to speak highly of your person in a way that it doesn't make things worse. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of times you have people that they're not standing up for or they don't tell their love story, or they have to say it in a way that is counteractive to somebody else. And I think that if people just at least that part of media training, like that's the bare minimum you can do. This is your spouse or your girlfriend, like you love them, this is your man, like say what you need to say to at least try to mitigate any type of extra hate that they're going to get online.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
Don't be leaving them out there to dry and making things worse, talking about I ain't never liked you blackies. Like,
well, I think we're gonna leave it at that. And
okay, I didn't know he was gonna bring that list up on you.
yeah.
Or what? Let's
And
say that for next time.
Yes.
yep.
Yeah,
We'll say some.
Yeah.
But just want to say thank you, Megan, for joining us. Thank you, Fallon. As always, appreciate it. And we will do it again next week. And for all of you who watch us, we really appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yes.
And
Leave
we'll see you
comments if
next
you
time.
leave comments about how you feel about these different topics that we're talking about.
Yeah,
We like to hear from y'all, to hear the feedback, like some of y'all's perspective. So definitely do that.
Yep. There you go. It's been Full Disclosure, and thank you very much. We appreciate it.